Alright guys, welcome back for our second game of the evening. I'm just going to get the graphics and the team names switched across because this time round it's going to be Team Shoe Munchers taking on Counterflame Gaming, our second place team from the previous game.
Yeah, that classic NA matchup, TSM versus nearly CFG. You'll notice a couple of little mix-ups. Slap and Tickle not going to be the support this time. They've got Virtue in as a sub, while Nijimura is away. So Slap and Tickle moves from support up to ADC to replace Nijimura, and Virtue comes in to replace that space then filled by Slap and Tickle. As far as comps went, there wasn't a whole lot of surprise that I remember seeing. As you can see, those bans, Urza getting nailed as per usual, Aurelion Sol, Katarina, of course, Vladimir could go top, but I'm almost certain it was aimed at Urza. Of course, he still has comfort picks. This guy, not like last season, he has an incredibly deep champion pool of stuff to beat you over the head with. So today it will be Syndra up against that Morgana in the mid lane, and I played this matchup against Urza in the caster match last year, and it did not go well for me. I also tried to take the wussy way out and pick Morgana against this Katarina, and it just did not work out. A lot of tools to shut down that Syndra later on, though. As I said, the spell shield will come out from Morgana. Late game, it is a considerable amount of damage that thing will soak up. And the Yasuo Wind Wall can also block it if it's aimed at him or someone behind him. Other things I'm excited to see, Hecarim. Not expected that to get through very often, but now it has. Very strong.
Yeah, in the last game we certainly saw Counterflame Gaming build around the one player. What do you think of their team lineup as a whole this time round? Well, do you kind of feel like they've got a particular strategy in mind?
Man, it's a bit more messed up than last time. I feel like there's slightly less of a team goal. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. Throwing all your cards into one kind of, an all skip can sometimes backfire on you if you fall behind like they did. Here you can see a bit of both. You got the poke from the Ezreal, the Karma, kind of pick from the Morgana, although also kind of sieging, and then the all-in from Yasuo and Hecarim. Not a whole lot set up that Yasuo, just the Hecarim knockback, really, if he wants to engage from a distance. So, interesting to see how they use that. I assume we'll probably see more of Yasuo split pushing, and just coming into the team fights with a teleport if needed. Coming up against a Gnar, I've not seen this matchup very often, so I'm going to be interested to see how it plays out. Of course, in the MLS, how matchups should go is not always how they do. Half the fun of it. It wouldn't be nice if it was too predictable, but we'll see. And we saw how strong Vi was last game. Early on especially, did start to drop off, mostly because that Ezreal's got so much lifesteal, she just could never quite finish him.
Well, I'm a little surprised to see Counterflame not doing what they did before and building around, or building a little bit more towards their top lane and the one player, especially considering how reliant Yasuo is on his teammates to be able to function. But to pop across to Team Shoe Munchers for the moment, we're certainly seeing a lot of very potent picks as their lineup.
Yeah. You've got to pay attention to the fact that mid and bot lanes are squishy. Very squishy. Syndra has a little bit of stuff to look after herself. The Scout of the Week, of course, gives her a little bit of space to maneuver, but as soon as that's down, it's kill them or be killed. She's very good at the former. She is also very good at the latter. Zyra, of course, kind of flavor of the month support at the moment, does so much poke damage in lane, and it scales well. Not because she's a support with particularly good kind of flat damage scaling, but more because she's a support who isn't really a support. I know, right? You'll see them build Eye of the Watcher. Is that what it's called? The Sightstone, Frostfang. Yeah, I have the Equinox.
Yeah.
Or is that the... Yeah, anyway. One of those eye items, and then pretty much straight into full damage. Might see a redemption come out. If she's feeling especially supporty, maybe even a Locket. They're both very strong at the moment, so you can kind of interchange them in and out. Caitlyn can look after herself a bit better, but also squishy. Especially if that Hecarim manages to flank him around the back, or the Yasuo somehow manages to find his way into the back line with the teleport. But yeah, overall, their team comp. Caitlyn, Syndra, you're looking for poke. You're looking to knock someone with a scat of the week, hit what you can, and then have Vi engage in once you've kind of buttered them up a little bit. Given the old tenderizing with those headshots.
Well, I mean, do you think, given that we've got the Gnar Vi combination, which certainly seems to be a very strong engage, that they'll be able to use that engage to keep Counterflame from doing the same to them with the Hecarim Yasuo?
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Gnar and the Vi, because they can go full on engage, but it will leave their backline exposed, right? So it's going to be a lot of big case of like, do you keep the Gnar back a bit? Do you let the Vi engage, and only when you're confident you kind of follow in with the Gnar? Do you keep him back so that he can disengage for the Caitlyn, Zyra, and the Syndra? I mean, he's not the best for peeling until he goes Mega Gnar. Of course, in mini Gnar form, he's really got to slow on the Q. I don't know. It'll be interesting, and I think TSM are a smart team. Compared to last season, they improved their shot calling. It's not just a one-man Urza Rex all team. They're going to sit back a little bit. They're going to see what CFG like to do, whether they're going to go for those aggressive flanks. If they do, they'll probably keep them back until they feel a bit safer. I'm expecting. I mean, they may do something completely different. They might decide just all in, eliminate the kind of front line, the CFG backline before they get a chance to react. It'll depend on how they find picks and where they end up fighting.
I thought for a second that we were going to see this fabled CFG aggression as they set up in the depths, but maybe I thought we might be seeing an engage happening, but it seems like maybe we're seeing a slightly more circumspect Counterflame gaming in this second game of the evening, given how their relentless aggression didn't manage to carry them all the way to the end of game 1.
Yeah, not quite. They got very close, and a lot of that was just due to the fact that they'd lost so much earlier. They definitely did a lot better as it went a bit later. And you can see what we mean when we say that CFG are a team that are good in team fights, but not so much a team that are good in the kind of big map plays. You saw them kind of get worked around a bit. always this iffy when you see that red buff go solo with the Zyra plants. They did die just before, but oh man. There's eating a binding though.
Yeah, well, eating a binding to the face. Not the best of starts. You mentioned before, similar to the last game, we've got this big hope on both sides of the equation, but this time round, both TSM and CFG lacking any sustain, just the shield from Afrobar to keep those trades from getting too out of control down on the bottom side.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be pretty rough, unless Slap and Tickle...
Oh my god, Slap and Tickle walks right into it. They trade back damage, but it's the damage on the Slap and Tickle.
Oh,
the
wait.
heal being burnt to keep Afrobard alive. And wow, well, the promise of aggression in the bottom lane looks like it's going to be fulfilled. Yeah,
not sure entirely what happened there at all. At first I thought Afrobard had massively overextended there around the bush, and then Virtue just didn't seem to appear. I don't know where he went. It kind of backed off his own turret and didn't get involved. I might back that up a little bit. I might take a little look-see. But yeah.
While the investigation goes forward, it looks like across the map, pretty darn even so far. Some Tintin being put, both of them is putting some serious fun. Doesn't look like to see any early aggression though. Of course, the moment I say this, Tintin is around the top side, looking maybe to try and punish that one player who's dropped down the wind wall by coming in all the way cold around the back. One player does get across, has to burn the flash. A little bit of a parting shot from Tintin means that now one player's going to be in notice. We could well see Tintin visiting that top lane once again. Well, elusive down the bottom side is looking to return the favor onto TSM. He's going to come around directly straight into their faces. Bertie using that slam into the wall, so much damage first blood's got to be happening. Elusive the one to take it. As more fighting happens in the mid lane, Legend Killer does his own flash. Tintin goes onto the tower. Legend Killer missing out on being able to bind and potentially kill. It looks like we're set up for another hyper-aggressive game of Slap and Tittle. Slap and Tittle? What am I saying? Slap and Tittle goes down to Elusive, who's taken 2 kills already. Counterflame Gaming starting out this game very, very nicely.
You can't say that on stream. I don't know if we have that mature content. No, yeah, all over the place. And yeah, I sort of look back. I think all that happened was Virtue got a little bit overly zoned by Afrobard as he stepped forwards. He kind of respected it too much. Slap and Tickle wasn't quite on the same page. They kind of ended up really split, and it was all a bit funny. But yeah, that one player definitely going to have to be careful now without that flash, although still pushing very aggressively. I don't know if he knows where Tintin is on the map. No wards down, so I don't know why he would, unless they saw him in the jungle, in the river, on a couple of those walls that they've got placed down. One of them being the Scuttle Crab.
Aggressive by himself onto Gingerbread. The ignite goes down. The heal from Afrobard, sorry, the shield from Afrobard, gonna keep Gingerbread from falling, but incredibly aggressive support versus 80 carried by Gingerbread.
Yeah, that's early game Zyro for you. Afrobard a little bit absent. Gingerbread nearly needs to sit back when that happens because he will get punished, and he will get punished hard, especially if a Grasping Roots hits him. He's pretty much finished. He's got to be real careful. If he gets hit by Grasping Roots, all that's going to happen is that Caitlyn's going to throw a trap under his feet. I mean, not when Virtue's so far forwards on his own. Does eat a couple of tower shots there, which is definitely not optimal. Still has 3 biscuits to jump on though. Blue deciding to head back instead, since he has 200 gold. Maybe a little bit early on the back then. Fair enough.
It's puzzling because I thought, well, never mind about that actually. As TSM are in trouble down the bottom side, Elusive comes in at speed. 4 hooves are in fact better. One of the traps not going to stay Slap and Tickle. No support this time round. It's TSM who are suffering for the lack of support down the bottom lane. As Counterpoint Gaming take the 3rd kill very smoothly.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you would have made a big difference there. I think it was probably a foregone conclusion when you push that far up without flash. But it definitely could have. I mean, it would have turned it into more of a kind of 20% chance of escape maybe. And now the Inferno Drake's out by Elusive. I mean, it's pretty early on, so he will take a fair amount of damage now from this Drake originally. It will take from one of the better players to take it.
Ooh, Ezra puts through the damage. Elusive goes down so low. But Ezra's going to fall. They end up bringing the kills in the end. Tintin right in the middle of trouble. Does not have any more shields to flash away. Gingerbread following up though. Tintin has nowhere to go. Gingerbread on the wrong captures him on the wrong side of the track. And 5-1 in favour of Counterflame Gaming. They're looking pretty darn strong now. The aggression's really paying off.
Yeah, honestly, this isn't what I was expecting. TSM are a strong team, and I was expecting them to really come out the gate swinging, especially in these solo lanes. You see Urza having a tough time in that mid lane. I mean, Morgana's a safe pick, but still, I feel like he should be able to be doing a bit more on the CS differential, something trading even. I mean, that is despite a kill, and he has got a wave coming in now, so you see it spiking up a little bit more now. But man, yeah, it's all going a bit wrong for TSM. They're picking odd fights, especially those ones near the Dragon Pit where you saw Ursa trapped in the middle of nowhere, kind of sandwiched in between Legend Killer and coming from behind, and then Hecarim, everyone else trying to get him in. And the spell shield coming out from Morgana really saving Elusive to start with, at least.
But we're back at least for a moment's respite to the never-ending madness, which we've kind of gotten almost acclimatized to the previous game. Counterflame Gaming are definitely not going to leave us with any reason to catch our breath during this game. But of course, Inferno Drake is still up, still on the table for both these teams. As they do the dance of death down the bottom side. Elusive comes in once again, so much aggression. This time, Tintin is there, has the ultimate, the catch onto Elusive with the trap, but Tintin didn't go across the wall this time round. No early assault and battery this game.
No, would have been a bit of a reach, and has ping 6, so maybe would have been worth a kind of hedge bet. Elusive not with 6 himself, so. Here we go, that one player getting aggressive in the top lane will bring out the others.
he makes 2 mistakes in a row, and one player able to take him to pieces for what seems like a relatively even top lane. Potentially, it's going to start spiraling out of control. You mentioned how TSM haven't been able to hold on to lane advantages. Now, all across the map, it's looking very, very dicey. Only, in the middle of the top, though, they are managing to do this with the deficit occurring.
Yeah, they are queuing up in CS, so it's not as bad as sometimes as this number of kills would suggest. I mean, 1.7k behind is, I mean, it's definitely not good, but it's not as bad as it could be for a 5-kill differential. And they haven't lost a Drake to it yet, which would really spell trouble. What will be troublesome, though, is if that one player manages to get a free turret up top, not walking back up, no teleport. We should get here in time, but it's going to be a promising place for Elusive to look for a second gank straight into first turret blood.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, I mean, that huge front can certainly put TSM very much back in contention. Even though that, yeah, at this point they are a little bit item starved. All over the place. Big damage getting traded back from Real. Up on the top side again, can't afford to make mistakes, missing the hop before, and now he's going to be missing it. His life gets knocked up. There's the combo for Yasuo. Rose flashes away, but there's the onslaught shot. It's huge! No, the hop doesn't quite get the job done. And Tintin, moments too late to save the TSM top laner. Yeah,
no flash, so couldn't get in any faster than that. And I mean, he probably didn't want to engage second. That was definitely a few too many. But here we go. Also in trouble. Storm. Yeah, the Thunderlord's proc coming up at the last second there, because he must have been hit by a few more things than that beforehand. Ult was up for Legend Killer as well. He decided to go all in. He had flash. He had ignite. I would have fancied his chances there.
It seems like yeah, just content at this point to turret pressure. And whoa, huge Strangleforms does connect on Gingerbread down on the bottom side. Afrobard and Virtue, both supports, being taken down so low. But I have to think at this point, TSM are living in constant fear of another 4-hoop visit from Elusive.
Yeah, they need to play really safe until the Caitlyn flash comes back up. I mean, she didn't manage to keep it long last time. I don't actually fancy her chance of keeping it long again. I think Elusive has their number down in the bot lane. But there will be that little window where Afrobard's flashes down, but Slap and Tickles its back up, and if they've timed it right, then possibly they can do well.
Legend Killer and Ezra are going to decide it for thrills! The ultimate's trading kills! So much damage in that mid lane. And yeah, I think it feels like this is, at the moment, the only hope for TSM. They've actually got a CS advantage, a significant CS advantage in the mid lane. But the Inferno Drake is going to get started up by counterplay.
Yeah, just Elusive on it. Wait, no, I am wrong. They do have the help of Gingerbread and Afrobard there. Going to be a little bit late if they try to go in. Don't know whether Tintin coming in. They've kind of backed off it now.
It goes across the counterflame and a fight still breaks out. Tintin drops the ult onto Elusive, falls back in the end. And the first Drake of the game going across the counterflame, and Infernal Drake, a great compliment to that aggressive style.
Yeah, gold lead opened up another 700-800 gold up to about 2.5k now for Counterflame Gaming. Right, this is going to be rough now for Team Shoe Munchers. Their comp scales interestingly. Syndra's a bit of a hard one to kind of gauge. Oh god.
Well, it's not hard to gauge how much damage is coming out of Counterflame Gaming because it's immeasurable. That makes no sense. But Counterflame Gaming are going to secure that first drift of the game and push that goal lead even further as they move in on Team Shoe Munch's jungle and maybe going to power the way down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, you can see though Rios has now got Sterit's Gauge, he's got that Giant's Belt and he is doing a lot of damage. The ult is up for that one player, does hit it, decides not to follow it up as Rios goes Mega Gnar.
Both mid laners looking favorable off the top line, but Elusive still going to try to aggress. Nice Strangleforms! Evasive use of the Onslaught Shadow secures another kill for Counterflame Gaming, who are looking so strong. Team Shoemunch is really struggling in this game.
Yeah, uncharacteristically so. I'd understand, like, I've heard that Team Shoemunchers have got better, but I'd still understand if they were being out-map played, but they are to a degree, but straight up, they're getting outplayed in lane. Legend Killer seems to have Urza's number. I mean, every time Urza seems to go anywhere, he gets hit by a binding. You saw that first kill that Legend Killer got on him in the bush. Here we go, though. This is where we stand.
Legend Killer's going to take out both the binding. Ezra is so low that one player's coming in. He's going to get knocked back by Tintin. One player desperately trying to close that distance, but Tintin may have done enough. Tintin's so low, but no! Oh my god, across the wall. Tintin has to flash away with his fallen comrade. One player coming in. Will the turret be enough to keep Elusive at bay? It's going to be very tight. Vi with that big shield. When she activates an ability, is a little bit more effective than she appears. But still, Riot's found Elusive. This may be a step too far for the Horseface, who is going to use great use of the blast cone. But one player is now in trouble. Doesn't have the wall to get away. And Riot's, no, he gets just in time. Riot's, oh my god, the stun comes through. The revenge kill. Riot's gets his first of the match, and it's on the one player.
A little bit greedy there, Riles, trying to throw out the stone before he hits, before the wind wall comes out, but does in the end. Didn't use the blast cone there, so Riles is going to get a free distance. Misjudges the angle slightly though.
Elusive looking to maybe try and punish the aggression of Team Shoemunchers, but this is getting some close time to the turret. The Afro Bar gets caught out, so much damage! Ezra is pouring through Afro Bar, the flash from Slap and Tickle to try and finish the job. Piltover Peacemaker puts Afro Bard in an early grave.
Oh yeah, there you go. So finally pulling through, getting some of that damage out. Well, under the support, so you do expect that, but nice to see Piltover's finest getting some free time with that mid turret down to half health now. Interesting to see whether they go into maybe a 1-3-1 setup. Riaz probably getting to the point where he is strong enough to take on Yasuo, especially now that he finished that frozen mallet, so he can kite a little better. Up until that Mega Gnar comes through and he can really pound Yasuo into the ground. I don't know who you put as the other one though. As a Syndra, not a traditional bottom split pusher. Can't take on the Yasuo at this point in time. Definitely not. To be honest, there probably won't be a point in time where he can 1v1 the Yasuo.
I don't think we're going to see 1v1 anytime soon. Versio is running right into Counterflame Gaming, who are moving en masse, but Legend Killer gets aggressive to himself. And the Assault and Battery comes out, but it may be a step too far for Team Shoemunchers. One player dancing amongst the spears. Slap and Tickle using the heal just to get the distance. Isn't going to get knocked up, but is going to get rooted in place. Ezra trying to keep his team alive. One player continues that Triforce damage. So crazy. Slap and Tickle one shot away. One player has done it. Counterflame Gaming are burning brightly.
Urza's got to be annoyed there. He comes in, he saves Slap and Tickle, and then Slap and Tickle's like, maybe one more auto attack will be alright. No, he just needed to run. He just needed to run away there.
But is there anywhere to run for Team Shoemunchers? The Counterflame going to move in all over the map, trying to take away this mid-tower while open up even more opportunities for more aggression. Down the bottom side though, Rails making great use of that frozen mallet. He's going to go and doesn't quite hit with the house to the face. Gingerbread, no, but it's going to do it. He finishes off the job. And a consolation prize to make up for that lost turret in the mid lane for Team Shoemunchers.
Yeah, nicely done. And you can see now, just throw Rails in a sideline. He can take, I'd say, pretty everyone on this CFG roster at the moment.
I think this kind of about to get everyone on the CFG roster. Multiple reds converging on his location. Team Shoemunchers top lane intro. Riaz falls to the Legend Killer, his fourth kill of the game. But the Dragon's going to be up. It's an Infernal Drake, and if they can, this will be the second one for Counterflame. If they can take away and really start stacking up the damage. Slap and Tickle has gone the wrong way and is now on the wrong side of the tracks, eliminated without too much trouble. Like Counterflame Gaming as they move in for that second Infernal Drake.
So, I can't be too mean to Slap and Tickle. I mean, he isn't an ADC main. He is the support for Team Shoemunchers. He's been He's been forced into this role due to the absence of Nishimura.
Well, engaged last press from the one player. Ezra gets deleted. Bertius walking back from the site of destruction. No Rios, he's got no teleport. Bertius just counting out the seconds until he dies. And there he goes. Counter
The ultimate bit of a flourish out from Alex.
That was, I think Counterflame they are on display right now. They are sending a message to every team in the league that even Team Schumann, yeah, as you said, a very, very strong team, are struggling to stand up against its aggression.
Yeah, they do seem to be styling somewhat. Slap and Tickle gonna try and do what he can. I mean, the bot lane turret doesn't stand a chance. That one player gonna be picking up the enemy red buff just to add more insult to injury. I mean, Caitlyn has managed to keep up on farm compared to Gingerbread Man.
Well, I mean, the Tintin died so quickly that it almost wasn't worth interrupting for that one. But at this point, it almost feels like we could basically rechristen the bottom right-hand quadrant as Counterflame's jungle as well. Because any time Team Schumann just goes anywhere near it, they're getting destroyed.
Undoubtedly. I mean, you can see where their wards are. In the bush by Krugs, in the bush, the far bush from red buff, not even in their own red bush buff. You can see Urza face checking. He's got to be careful there because this is not his jungle and he is not safe to face check that. The Raptors bush, I mean, they don't even have the one on the far side of red bush warded, which they really need. They need that bush there warded just because finally got one in tri-bush. That gives them a little bit more safety around there.
Schumunchers have got a last stand in progress as Rayos manages to just dodge out that binding, but Afrobar does not do the same with Son. Tintin secures his second of the game, and Team Schumunchers give themselves a few more moments to try and stay alive in this game.
Yeah, Urza probably wanted to get the kills at this point. Tintin going to face check, push the Legend Killer in it.
Legend Killer gets the root, has dropped down the shield, but it's going to be that one player who's going to be the attention of 4 of Team Schumunchers. A shutdown goal going to be pretty darn big. But Gingerbread down the bottom side trying to force down another turret for Counterflame, but is going to get driven away by Slap.
Yeah, I mean, driven away. He's going to get tickled slightly. Caitlyn's still waiting on a full complete item. I mean, Gingerbread got both of his, just waiting on Muraman to stack up fully. Where is he stacking? He's sitting at 520 stacks, so a little way off, but not too much further. Urza now having to come down to help him deal with it. Urza could probably take Gingerbread in a fight, maybe not with his ultimate down, but the burst probably a bit too much for an Ezreal to handle up front with only armor, no health for MR.
Has to burn the ultimate to keep loose with it, but at least we are seeing Team Schumunchers trying to make some progress on that, trying to get that first power of the game that's eluded them for this whole 22 minutes so far, and try and make up that big old gold discrepancy that's still very heavily in Counterflame's gaming as they move into the top side.
Yeah, 6k is not to be sniffed at 20 minutes, definitely not. Gingerbread.
This might be a true position too far, as Gingerbread getting aggressed onto Afrobar, taking so much down the hill, and the shields are there. Rios, no, Urza the one to take the kill. Up in the middle, Elusive is doing so much work. Versu comes in just at the last moment, but it may be too late for TSM. One with the triple kill across to Elusive, and it's only Ezra who can say anything at all about keeping Counterflame away from this first bang of the game.
Yeah, it almost looked like a good fight, almost, until you realise that the two big teamfight ultimates, Rios, Gnar, and the Stranglethorns were both down, which really hampers them. That's exactly what they wanted, though. I mean, if they had those ultimates up, a jungle fight where you've sandwiched them in, you've got them from all angles, it's exactly what you want. You can stun up all 5 of them into a wall with an RL, you then knock them straight up, and you've got so much free damage, but unfortunately, Baron does go over to CFG. Just the right fight, not quite at the right time.
We'll have to see if Team Shoemunchers can try and force out another select, but they may not have too much time left to spend in the jungle portion, with this Baron buff allowing Counterplaying Gaming to really press up these waves, take even more turrets, and maybe close this game out. But there may be a member of Counterplaying Gaming who's gone too far. Afrobars once more the target of aggression. That's incredible use of the blast cones all game long for both teams, getting Afrobard out of trouble that he had no business being in.
Yeah, far too far forwards, but these blast cones, I'm sure lots of people have seen all the highlight plays. They get you out of some really sticky situations. I'm not entirely sure I'm 100% keen on them. I think it kind of causes some frustration without having any real kind of nuanced play. It's just you get on the right side of them and you hit the button and you go over the wall. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. It does still make some good watching when you see those pretty escapes. Oh, God.
He's been caught, but he's been eliminated! It's so vital that the team don't make any mistakes here, and now they're going to have to fight down a member. Up in the top side, the battle of the top lane continues, a story with no ending but death. And in the bottom side, Counterplaying Gaming still trying to make an impact, but they don't have the minions to quite push down the turret yet. They are coming in from the back, they are going to get that Baron buff. They're going to be hard to deny, just like this Hecarim. True Shot Barrage coming across. And Counterplaying Gaming, Legend Killer gets eliminated. Slap and Tickle goes down. A double kill for Slap and Tickle. They do trade the kill across the mid laner for Team Shoemunchers, but a much better outcome. Ace in the Hole comes out. Gingerbread doesn't quite block it, but the damage for Slap and Tickle not enough to put down Elusive, who escapes on no health at all.
Yeah, very close, very close. If they weren't so far behind, and the Caitlyn had more than just a Rune and Zenobia sword and the pickaxe, that would have been a nice kill to get back, get the shutdown onto Elusive, who is sitting on a fat stack. You got to realise that one of those deaths was to the Baron, so that didn't count as shutdown goal towards. So he's probably sitting around about on a 4 or 5 kills stack for whoever claims that bonus on him. That one player getting some free time in the top lane, though, not dropping out of Mega Knight just now. Won't have it if he comes into a teleport in any team fights soon. Not that I envision they will. They're giving up this dragon for free. Gingerbread.
Gingerbread. Well,
there you go.
There might have been a disconnect on his part, because yes, we're seeing the pause come out almost immediately. But wow, I mean, you were saying if Team Shoemunchers were doing better, these last couple of situations could have been amazing for them. But they weren't, because they are. So how on earth did Team Shoemunchers manage to get back into a position where they can get these semi-even trades?
Man, yeah, it's getting very close. It really is heartbreaking to see, because possibly it's something that TSM are not used to being behind, and they maybe slightly overestimate their own ability to win fights through sheer solo plays when they just can't, because then they don't have the power. They don't have an ADC who's familiar with the role to the same degree as Nijimura normally is, and an ADC who has fallen a fair way behind. I mean, when I say a fair way behind, I mean he's kept up in farm. And he's still got 3 kills. I mean, 2 of them only just came through underneath that bot lane turret through that slightly strange dive. I think we can agree. As it replaces the batteries in his mouse.
Well, I mean, it feels like it's starting to threaten to turn around for Team Shoemunchers. I mean, Ryo's up in the top lane, has got that Black Cleaver, has got that Frozen Mallet. So, you know, he's got his core build going at this point. Slap and Tickle's very close to having that combo of the Hurricane with the massive crit damage from the Infinity Edge as well. Do you think if they can hold on for a little bit, it feels like a much longer game than 26 minutes because how much fighting's been going on. But do you think they can hold on?
So Gnar needs to get a bit of armor, because at the moment his main enemies are going to be the Yasuo and the Hecarim. Then any poke that Ezreal can get down. The Morgana throws a lot of upfront damage out, but once he's been bound, if he gets hit by anything from Morgana, he's going to be stunned, and the Morgana is going to be the least of his worries. It's going to be more the fact that there's going to be a Yasuo bearing down on his rooted form. So yeah, I'd like to see him get a little bit of armor.
A summoner has disconnected.
And then Vi, you can see definitely not the same aggressive build that Elusive went last game. Gone for that Cinder Hulk. Going for the Triforce now. Yeah, so we will see a bit of a spike of damage out from her coming through before she goes into, I assume, a fully defensive build straight afterwards. They need to pick their fights a little better. At the moment, I don't know if they're just a little bit spooked, a little bit scared. They're picking fights where they don't have cooldowns up, where they don't have a key member, when they've not quite timed the flashes and who's got what right. At the moment, you see, it's only Ursa without a flash, and Bert Yu as well, but he'll be up pretty soon. They've got most of the ults up, apart from the one that just took down Gingerbread Man out from Syndra.
Yes.
So it's going to be an... But no, I mean, the 9k goal can't be ignored. I mean, they can't just take a straight-up team fight. They won't win it. Not now. Not for another 20 minutes if this with a 9k goal lead. We have a DC on top of what we already had. Yeah, it's going to be tough, definitely. It's not like they've got the scaling advantage in any significant way. So,
I suppose the only thing it doesn't occur to me is, like, you know, with what we're talking about items, that at least they're getting the chance to complete some of those core builds, which, you know, have been in place for counterplane gaming for a really long time, and now they're building towards, you know, nearly completing the next item. I mean, it's 3 items.
A summoner has reconnected.
For that one player, certainly. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to.
So we will see the eye edge completed by Caitlyn on her neck. She's got the gold for it. That'll be a big power spike. I mean, that'll bump her up to around 50% crit. Plus whatever runes and mastery she's running on 250% crit damage. If Slap and Tickle can get his positioning a little bit crisper, he can put out some good damage. The problem is he has been getting caught out pretty easily.
Well, I mean, at least this time, I mean, Gingerbread in the last game certainly felt like was really kind of struggling to contribute a lot of time, certainly getting aggressed onto a lot. But we haven't really seen the promise of Team Shoe Munchers with this Vi, of being able to make these massive engages happen. It just doesn't seem to really, you know, come together coherently for them.
No, mostly because they've been fighting in this jungle with either that big one in the TSM blue buff, when they didn't have Stranglethorns or Gnar up. I mean, that would have been a good fight for them. It was a fight they maybe could have still made work if they hadn't been about 6k behind at the time. Here we go. We should have play resuming once again as Gingerbread Man comes back in. We'll see Elusive finishing off the dragon, which will be a Cloud Drake.
A very nice pickup on the Necromancer, so I can give him a little bit of extra upfront damage, as well as allowing Counterplane to do what they love to do best, which is run straight at people and murder them in the face. Still no towers yet for Team Shoe Munchers. Yeah, it's a massive mountain for them to climb.
Yeah, so if they hold on and they can get a big team fight in the jungle with all their cooldowns, it does mean that there's a lot of gold for you to pick up. But of course, it's one of those. Oh god, pick up Ursa.
Yeah, I mean, that's been this game.
Yeah.
Like, what goes along with the tower? Even with only the city thing, it's still so tanky. Doesn't quite get caught. One player so low, but there's the save from Tintin. Doesn't quite manage, but they do at least trade it go back. At this point, oh my god! The emergency! Ezreal ultimate does get the job done. They end up trying to kill up on the turret in the mid lane. Double kill onto Tintin. He's trying to keep Ryos safe, but it's a 3 versus 2. Ryos has the flash. Tintin goes down to legendary killer. Ryos desperately trying to kill himself back. Does get the shutdown gold, but such a low health bar. Surely he cannot stand against 2 members. He hops on their heads. He's going to try and get the stun. He got under Gingerbread. I think disconnects once more, and that may be the only thing that saves Riot.
Yeah, no, he was definitely going down otherwise. I'm pretty sure. Doesn't have flash or anything else up, and he just used his hop. It was a nice hop to get out. Reconnected, so hopefully we'll be back in pretty quick. Not a whole lot extra to talk about. Morgana does have that Zhonya's Hourglass, so we'll see if she gets a little bit more feisty with her engages. Not that she's been adverse to getting in there at the moment with her ult, but hopefully maybe this time she won't die. I mean, that's always the hope.
That's a good hope.
We see the Ezreal once more go for the Iceborne Gauntlet. I mean, personally I'll go for Triforce, but that's just me. Iceborne Gauntlet just is the better choice in kind of a lot of situations, especially if you've got a big problem like a Gnar who's going to be coming at you.
Well, there's double I've given Team Shoe Munchers a little bit of time to work with. Getting that extra kill, getting that extra point for Riot, really significant. What could have been easily a chance for Counterplaying Gaming to really press their advantage home. Now Team Shoe Munchers actually able to come out their base for a second, which has been a pretty rare sight recently.
Yeah, they've been managed to push forward, and you can see they've got a nice line of wards out now. Just got to be careful. Yes, we push down the bot lane. We'll be able to come in from behind them if they go for it. Not just because he has teleport, he can also run straight through. They should get a bit of warning, but they're going to have to be careful because that turret will most likely go down. I don't think they're going to be there quick enough to save it. Whether they can pick him up on the outside, I just decided to back off preemptively.
Well, at least a small victory for one more turret from the already massive turret deficit they're sitting at right now. I mean, we're building up to a 10-fold kind of play. Probard again annihilated. Really, really nice play. He's rocking the most deaths for maybe a little bit incautious.
Yeah, he has been finding himself out in the wrong place at the wrong time for little reason. I mean, why he'd want to be there at that point in time, I mean, unless he was wanting to try and get a really deep ward down, but I mean, no, he didn't have the right to be there. He just should not have been. That's about the long and short of it. No vision, no teammates, no idea where the enemy team were, and of course, Urza was there, and ready to blow his brains out with Unleashed Power.
The lowest health turret you're likely to see today before Counterflame come in and take it away even more. But with the numbers disadvantage, Afrobard is making his way from the base. But it looks like Counterflame have split themselves across all three lanes.
Yeah, an interesting decision. Especially since Caitlyn's going to have an easy time holding against a couple of people. I mean, the traps are down. Unless somehow that one player manages to get a deep dive on her with Zyra messing up a bit. Shouldn't be too bad, but here we go. Teleporting into the Baron.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a bait on the part of Counterflame Gaming. They've almost jumped in and so quickly. Capcom Royals there, but he may end up just being the dessert from a Baron meal as Afrobard gets caught once more. Huge elusive tears through TSM and cannot be stopped. That unstoppable onslaught living up to its name of Royals. Desperately trying to backtrack, trying to find a distance. Slap and Signal gets caught, gets knocked up, gets deleted by the Legend Killer. Bertio trying to lead Counterflame away from their own base, buying the moment that Team Shoe Munchers need to stay in this game. Bertio flashing right into the arms of Gingerbread. Elusive takes the kill, but Team Shoe Munchers, it doesn't get much worse than this for them.
I mean, he did buy a fair amount of time. I'll give him credit. Maybe not worth burning the flash for, but no. I mean, once again, it was nearly a good fight for TSM. They were backing off. Unfortunately, the Baron buff doesn't give them a fair chance. And Gnar coming down out of Mega Gnar just at the beginning of the fight really hurt.
Gingerbread disconnected again, and now Legend Killer's going to fall down as well. Ezra the one to take the kill, and honestly, I have to think Team Schumann will take it yet as one player comes in, Slap and Tickle forces the flash away. One player keeps falling back, gets a knock on Bertie, but here comes Nah coming to the side. One player whanged into the wall. Rios takes his fourth of the game, and Team Schumann, despite everything, are still in this game.
That's number van. Thank you. Stephen would be proud. I've got to try and make some puns while he's not here to do it himself. But here we go. Urza going to face check.
No, he gets the knockback. And Lucid does manage to close distance onto Urza. The unstoppable also finishes the job. But the other members of TSM come from the side of Lucid. He's going to have to try and go away. Afrobar getting taken down very low. The Nah comes in, finishes the job. Elusive manages to sneak his way away. Well, Team Schumann managed to trade a kill once again, but the Counterflame Gaming still have that ridiculous gold lead. But Infernal Drake...
Infernal Drake will make up for a little bit of it. Maybe knock a couple of K off the deficit. I mean, it is still 1 Infernal Drake against 2. Rios has to make sure he doesn't go quite too deep. Birdio, it will get deleted.
Nice stronghold, knocks up 2 members. Legend Killer forces the Zoyas. Rios can't stand. Legend Killer takes a ace in the hole to the face, but is not deterred at all as Tintin has to try and find his way out. Walks right into Legend Killer. If he caught him, that could be massive. But instead, he's just going to be warming the pot in the ground. Slapper drops down the snap trap, but it won't save him. Urza, the only one standing between Counterflame Gaming and the Nexus.
Yes, a little bit brave from Legend Killer to spearhead the assault from the jungle there. He was definitely dead if Tintin had gone for a slightly different trajectory off that. But yeah, Inhib going down, may try and push for more. I mean, that top one as well. They could even go and try and finish 20 seconds on 2 or 3 members. It's just Bertnew and Urza currently. The ult is up on Bertnew, but on Urza, but I don't know who he's going to try and hit. Legend Killer taking a couple of shots.
The onslaught, full onslaught, finish another kill. Huge damage from Urza. Trades their life, but that means Rios is the only one left to try and fend off Counterflame Gaming. One player goes in, falls down, and now they have to try and finish the Nexus. They are going to do it. Counterflame Gaming redeem themselves in Game 2. Team Shoemunchers could not stand against the aggression.
Yeah, just really well played, start to end there by Counterflame Gaming. I mean, they always looked in control. Elusive was where he needed to be on the map. Despite Gingerbread's best efforts to throw through DCing repeatedly, they still managed to pull it through. Afrobard as well, getting caught out a couple more times, perhaps than was strictly necessary. But all in all, I mean, it was a bit of a shame that TSM didn't show up as maybe they could have done. Maybe it was a stand-in. I mean, we can't put all the blame on just the team play. They did have a sub. They had their reasons, perhaps, but in the end, you can't take it away from CFG. Massively played from beginning to end there, in control. That one player dominating that top lane. Rios had a couple of minutes where he seemed like he had a kind of an edge there, but in the end, that one player was where he needed to be, constantly split pushing, and just taking out anyone who tries to get in his way.
Well, congratulations to Counterflame Gaming, managing to find a way past the very impressive Team Shoemunchers. Do we have anybody to be able to interview for our post?
I'll see if I can get in that one player in Elusive.
Okay, we'll take a brief break while we get that set up for you guys, but we should be back in just a couple of minutes with your post-game interview with your post-match winners. All right, guys, we are back live with your post-match interview. Joining us is Legend Killer, the mid lane from the last game. Pretty impressive performance on the Morgana. How are you feeling after that hard-fought second game?
A bit more better on this game than the first game we played.
Nice. Were you a bit nervous going up against Urza? He has somewhat of a reputation in the MLS.
Yeah, he's a really good player in mid lane. Everyone knows that. He was really well in farming and trying to control the lane in mid. So, yeah.
Could you take us through to pop back to the first game momentarily?
Yeah.
Before we get stuck in the second, what do you think happened in that first game that caused you guys to? It went so long. What was happening?
I think it was just communication problems. I think people were, including myself, I was second guessing on certain plays that people were suggesting. Everyone was kind of half-hearted on certain things. Some people were going in, some people weren't, and I think that eventually cost us the game. There were certain times where we won the fight, but then we went too far forward, or we didn't control the lanes or anything. So it kind of got a bit too much pressure once they got a couple of inhibs. So we had to juggle the farming of the minions, and then also trying to make, if we were in team fights, we were we were capable of winning. We weren't going in as a disadvantage, which might have occurred most of the times.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. I agree. There were times when you looked a little bit lost, but I think overall your team fights were actually pretty good. Is that crit build Garen something that your top laner normally pulls out?
I don't know. I think he just wanted to play something new, and of course, I'm not there to tell him that you shouldn't play that. So we were okay with it. As a team, we were like, yes, we should be fine. So I think it was just him wanting to try something out, which, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. So yeah.
Yep.
In fact, it went very well in the end.
Do you guys think that you took any lessons from the first game of the evening into the second one?
You kind of cut off. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah.
Did you think you learned anything from that first game which you applied to the second game of the evening that went better?
You kind of cut off in the middle.
Cut off again.
But I think I know what you're trying to say. We learned. So first thing was the communication. So we went in with a fresh mind. So we had two people trying to say things. So our jungler and support were the main shot callers. They were telling us we should say an objective like dragon. So they would go in first to make sure the warding was good. Then if they needed help, they would ask for myself or anyone else in the team that wasn't there. And then if they didn't need the help, they would just tell us, okay, carry on with your lanes, or should we come and gank somewhere? Should we come to help? So that was the first thing. Second thing, we didn't overstay, or we tried not to overstay. And so we weren't getting too carried away. So we were sticking as much as we could, and then of course leaving when we should do, not sticking around.
Cool. No, that's pretty concise. I think, should we keep this interview fairly short? I think everyone wants to try.
Yeah, that's okay.
Late. Yeah.
Well, thank you for talking with Legend Killer. I hope you guys continue to do well and do some more great performances.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's going to be it for us this evening. I've been Peter Counterfeit Hutton, and joining me has been
Robert Bites Bragg.
All right, I will catch you guys next week.